All right. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Daily Money Market. You are actually with me, Che Yusuf. It's another week in terms of high impact volatility, and again, just to go through to see what exactly it's coming, and again to repeat what has been happening last week. Of course, it's a very big week in terms of the labor of the United States. There's a non-farm payroll that is coming this week on Friday. And again, when it comes to US election, again, these are last days that actually, they are actually releasing the US election. So the very high anticipated market at the moment. And again, there's also bank earnings that have been happening since last week up to this week. So I'm gonna go and trying to show you how the market is performing at the moment in terms of the price and where the market it's pricing at the moment, and some of the things that I see that are really interesting in terms of instrument from US and as well as instrument from Europe as well. But when it comes to non-farm payroll, that's the biggest that we are actually anticipating to come this week. Okay, so in terms of high impact volatility of the week, there's a bank holidays from Monday, and one of the interesting thing, it's a daylight savings that's starting from Monday from Europe. That means the London open session in terms of South African time, it will be around 10 a.m., 10 o'clock a.m. But we see Bank of Canada governor speaking, on Monday. That brings a little bit of more volatility on the Canadian dollar. Moving on Tuesday, there's a CB consumer confidence from US, jobless open, and Chairman Sledge speaks from Swiss franc, and again Bank of Canada governor speaking as well, 9:30 a.m. on Tuesday. 4 p.m. it's CB consumer confidence from United States of America. So high impact volatility expecting from instrument like NAS 100, US 30, and as well as S&P 500. Wednesday, there's a CPI from Australian dollar. We are seeing again German CPI as well on Wednesday that is happening. SNB Chairman Sledge speaking again from Swiss franc on Wednesday. The big one on Wednesday is 2:30 p.m. It's advanced GDP from United States. So the GDP numbers are coming from US on Wednesday. Another interesting, it's a crude oil inventory. I think they are having the meeting again to talk about the oil and the price of the oil as well. As we can see already, the geopolitics has been affecting the oil, and right now it's sitting around. Let me check where WTI it's sitting around. WTI right now. Grid out, zoom in. So right now it's sitting at $67.47, which is really amazing. It shows a little bit of gap as well. Moving on Thursday, in terms of high impact volatility, there's a China manufacturing PMI, back of Japan again outlook report with a monetary policy. They're coming as well on Thursday from Japan. We're seeing a Japanese yen having really interesting week, or even from last week, bullishing up. The price goes all the way to the different level. 2:30 p.m. on Thursday, there's a GDP from Canada. So it's a week of Canadian GDP and as well as core price index from US. Moving on Friday, the big one, it's NFP, non-farm payroll, that is coming from United States. But again, we are seeing CPI from Swiss franc as well on Friday. We are seeing as well SMI manufacturing PMI as well from United States. So lots and lots of areas that we can tap in and be able to see where the market is going and take advantage. When it comes to last week, just a little bit of recap. We saw again the bank earnings from Morgan Stanley third quarter earnings come, trading reverse at 3.5 billion. Estimated was 2.7 billion. So they actually beat the estimation numbers, which is really good. We saw again EU leaders gathering for the summit, and again Madam Jessie coming up with the interest rate of 25 basis points cut from European Central Bank. week. 2% of UK financial and insurance employee are black, reported last week. What else? There was a last week. There was also a German manufacturing PMI that comes for a 2.6 estimated. The German PMI, they rise it. That was the last week report. I think the estimation was 40.8, and they actually come with a 42.6 rise. So that was again in terms of a German PMI. And that drives also the German 30. We saw German 30 having really reacting in terms of positivity and bullish. Another big news that comes last week was a Boeing story continues. Boeing workers rejected the latest offer as the strike continues. So the CEO optimizes to continue to fade in the fourth quarter as the leaders of large firms express a lower confidence in the outlook for their own industry. So that's one of the CEOs, actually reporting in terms of how the third quarter earnings are actually performing. Okay, so the last part that we're looking at, I think, is just to get in the market and to just try to predict where the market is going to go. But again, remember, what we are predicting is not directly, letting you know what to do or what to trade. These are actually, for education purposes and according to how I'm looking at the market. All right, so we're looking at WTI, which is it has the biggest story for this week since from last week to this week in terms of the geopolitics, and again Israel trying to retaliate to Iran but not hitting the oil pumps and also on. So we see dropping to 67.47 per barrel, coming from 72. That's really a big gap that has been gapped here. But again, I'm not anticipating that this oil now is gonna affect anything at the moment, right? Until maybe the election has been done so that it can be able to cover this. But I think it will gain a little bit to 68.70 per barrel. This is really good time to people who actually participate in oil and to trade in oil. But remember, this gap eventually it has to be covered. Eventually the gap has to be covered, and that's why I'm really anticipating these are positions that in couple of months or maybe after election will cover this gap back to 71,000 $71 per barrel, unless if any retaliation of Israel to those tanks happen now, then we'll see a jump, really crazy jump getting to this level. So that's when it comes to WTI. We talked about Japanese yen. As I said, that it's been flourishing all the way up. Right now it's 153.237 per dollar. But where I'm anticipating, I think somehow Japanese yen has to lose the momentum, but not because of anything is wrong in Japan or because of monetary policy in Japan. It's actually not performing well. No, it's because of maybe United States dollar is gonna start again gaining the momentum, and once it gains the momentum, Japanese yen versus United States dollar, that means a bearish it has to happen as well from there. Bitcoin gave us a really a very crazy story this week. It actually brushes all the way to 70,960. 70,960. These are one of the biggest, when it comes to the highest of the position. I won't say it's the all-time high, because I remember Bitcoin it once get to positions of 100,000 and 120,000 before, but according to now, I think it really performing well to 70,965. If it has to have any type of a depreciation, it's not going to be a lot. It will be maybe just to get back to 65,000 per Bitcoin. God, which is the safe haven of the dollar, has been actually performing really well. All these gaps that has been happening to all these instruments, it gives stability to gold as a safe haven. That's why we see it pushes all the way to 2,756. But I'm just anticipating a little bit of drop today, a little bit. Okay. Now we can look in terms of S&P 500, where we think S&P 500 this week it will end up. I'm actually anticipating a drop on these instruments. I think it will come back to recover these positions, which is, come back and really, really close the gap properly, not retesting of the trying to close, but just a retest and go back up. So I'm really anticipating the market to drop a little bit, by the end of this week. Maybe when it comes to non-farm payroll, it might come to 5,764. That same was applied to, NAS 100, one of the biggest indices in the market. Again, and that's 100. What it will do is to bullish a little bit before it actually, drop. Try to set itself to 20,554. Once it get to that position, that's where there will be a proper direction to say where the market is going. So I'm anticipating a little bit of bullish for NAS 100 to cover this space. Again, that actually applies as well to Dow Jones. A little bit of growth when it comes to Dow Jones, but by the end of the week, Dow Jones, it might come and really, really properly recover this space. This is the space that will recover clearly once it comes to the end of the week, once NFP has been announced, and again to see where exactly the politics and the elections polls are actually saying. And that's where it will depend how the dollar is performing. That translates to all the indices like Dow Jones, Nas 100, and S&P 500. So that's it when it comes to these markets, and we've been checking the market and high impact volatility. All right, so thank you very much for actually watching the video and for actually supporting on this channel of the Daily Money Market. Keep subscribing, share with other guys, and there will be a link if you want to open up a trading account. You can just go in the description, open up a trading account, and be able, to start learning from these short videos that we do and to practice it on your own on the market. You can DM me if you need any type of assistance. I can be there and to help you here and there regarding the trading in a forex market.